Greetings Terrarians, Khaios here. Today we're joined by our friends the Lunar Cultists. I want to talk about how you can customize their spawn point without breaking their spawn and just make it look a lot more appealing or suit it to the needs of your build. Now, most people know that the Lunar Cultists spawn at the dungeon at key points. You often see that people will build around them. But what many people don't know is that you could actually adjust their spawn points very slightly. So first off, we've carved out the dungeon. We don't have a whole lot here, but what we need is this floor level of the dungeon to be intact. And it has to be at this height. It cannot be any higher or any lower. So this floor needs to remain in place. However, you can use any material you need. Also, the ceiling of the dungeon, which is around 10 to 13 tiles tall, in this case was 11, needs to be intact right over the medallion. And in fact, you can reduce this down to a single block. It doesn't need to be dead center. And I'll just go ahead and log out and log back in to show you that the cultists will spawn even if the ceiling is only one block. So as you see, the ceiling is now only one block. It's currently 11 tiles high, but the ceiling can be 10, 11, 12, or 13 tiles high. The key points for the cultists, I'm going to go ahead and mark by mining directly under them. So these are the points along the dungeon spawn area where the cultists and the medallion will spawn every time. So actually what we could do is remove tiles around, and again with the ceiling, we only need a single tile to remain here as the floor. And that's the same case with the cultists as well. So just to show that, I'm currently in the dungeon area with all the carving I did out, and there's no cultists, no medallions. However, if I take myself off screen and give them time to spawn, and I'll just go ahead and hop on back, you'll see that they've spawned and they're sitting on the single tile for each of these, and the medallion will still spawn because the space between the floor, which is a single tile, and the ceiling, which is this single tile, is between 10 and 13. Another thing that you can do is adjust the height of the cultist spawn. So once again, we're at the dungeon with nothing here, just so I could show you. And this floor and this ceiling have to stay in place. You cannot raise or lower those whatsoever, or else your cultists will not spawn. However, if I were to raise this up a couple of tiles, you'll see that when I spawn the cultists in, they will now be standing on the higher tile. Another thing to note is that if there is enough space for the cultist to spawn beneath, right here, say the cultist could technically stand here, or if I even raise it up one right here, they could stand right here. They will always spawn on the upmost surface, on the highest surface that is suitable for them to actually spawn on. So as long as it's within the range of their spawn point, they will always select the highest surface. As you see here, they are not spawning on the blocks below, they are spawned up above. Now, the cultists can be placed even higher and even lower, so I'm going to show you how high and how low they can be placed. The cultists can spawn anywhere from the floor level up to 12 blocks, which is right around the height of the ceiling. And they could spawn beneath the floor. They can spawn beneath the floor up to 3 tiles as well. So if we take this floor level right here, and we dig down to this point right here, and I'll put a rainbow brick there so you could see what I'm referring to. I'll do the same over here. You will see that we get the cultists to spawn on top of all of those rainbow bricks, which are higher and lower than the medallion and the floor. And this is as high as they can spawn and as low as they could spawn. The next thing that I want to mention is that cultists do not need to be at the same height. You might have gathered that by me having some high and some low, but they also do not need to be symmetrical. I was just doing that for appearance sake. But if I wanted to have a cultist down here and have a cultist up at the top right over there, and then just bring this cultist up just a little bit more, I could do exactly that. Be sure you don't go back too fast or else they don't spawn. You have to give them time to spawn. But they can be off-centered like this. So they don't need to be symmetrical and they don't need to be on the same line of floor. The last thing that I want to mention is that the ceiling and the floors for both the medallion and the cultists are the only important tiles. So the rainbow brick that you're seeing are the only important tiles. Everything else can be completely removed and destroyed. And again, the cultists can spawn on any solid block, except for platforms. It has to be a solid tile, not something that they could pass through. But you can choose any material and you can remove anything around the cultist spawn except for these 6 points. Oops, I forgot to turn on God mode. But as you can see, regardless of my death, the area around their spawn points do not matter. Only these 6 tiles matter. And knowing this information, that these 6 points are the most important points for their spawn, you can build anything that you'd like around them and customize their spawn point as much as you'd like. There's one thing I forgot to mention, and that is for the center part where the medallion is, you cannot use any blocks in between the floor and the ceiling, even if they are actuated. Be careful not to have anything in there. I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you guys found this guide and tip video useful, please be sure to leave a like and comment, and please subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, be sure to ring the bell so you get notified for all of my videos. I'm uploading 3 times a week. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you all later. Happy building.